Hey, what's up squad? Welcome to part 2. Let's begin with mounting the processor on the motherboard. Be very careful not to touch the top of the processor with your hands. There is oil naturally on your fingertips which can disrupt the contact with the heatsink. Don't forget to connect the fan connector on the motherboard to ensure that the heatsink is being cooled. Once you're past that part, this heatsink should just press into place. Keep in mind there are other types of heatsinks which attach in other ways. The next thing we'll attach is the CPU power connector to the motherboard. The next thing we'll attach is the ATX power connector to the motherboard. This supplies the majority of the power to the motherboard. Once that is done, we'll start connecting the rest of the cables to the power supply. Now that that's out of the way, let's start hooking up our risers. It's always good practice to have these wired up from left to right and in a sequential order so that when you connect your graphics cards in your troubleshooting later on, you can figure out what needs to be replaced and when it needs to be replaced. Now we can start mounting our graphics cards and getting them lined up and ready to rock. It's always nice to have these spaced pretty evenly. That allows for even airflow across the cards and proper temperatures. It also helps to manage your cables so that they're not in front of the fans or blocking any airflow. Now we'll connect the SATA power connectors to the back of the risers along with the USB cables.
Don't tell me that I need saving. Finally awake and living. Yeah, yeah. The pressure inside was building. I felt under attack, and now my mind's attacked, and I've chosen my path. I've chosen my path. What's this? I finally read this helplessness. Tired of feeling like I'm upside down, so I'm gonna turn it all around. And and dear God, save my soul 'cause it is blood. Tired of feeling like I'm upside down, so I'm gonna turn it all around.
The next thing we want to do before putting the graphics cards in place is connect the hard drive. When the graphics cards are in place, they can add quite a bit of clutter to the area, and putting the hard drive in place can be a little bit of a pain. Now we can start putting the graphics cards in place and making sure they seat nicely. Now we're just going to put a screw into the top of the graphics card so that they don't wobble around when the mining rig is moved.
Everything changes.
Now with all the graphics cards in place, we can start connecting the PCIe power connectors. Each card takes 2 PCIe power connectors with 8 pins. Once all the power cables are connected, the mining rig is ready for an operating system. At this point, you should be good to go. Thanks guys for tuning in, and as always, stay regular.